John aka Chicken Fillets here. Now the other week I had put out a video called 10 JRPGs that you should play picked at random. Now essentially what I did with that video is I went around my game room and picked out JRPGs at random, and we did it in a one-shot, one-take format. Now there was a comment which came on this channel for that video, which was a really good point, because they said, well, there's still an element of choice, you're going around your game room, what about doing a roulette wheel? So, with that in mind, welcome to JRPG Roulette, where I have put in every single JRPG that I own into a roulette app, and we're going to recommend 5 JRPGs that you should play according to this app. I'm hopefully going to make this an ongoing series. What will happen is I will screen record the roulette app, it will pick the choice, and I will basically give you my thoughts in a one-shot, one-take format, because there'll be times where there might be games which I don't like, JRPGs that I've not got round to yet, which are in my backlog, so it could be an interesting time. But before we get on to that, if you like JRPGs, JRPG Roulette for some reason, and a wee Scottish guy talk about it, please consider subscribing to the channel. This is going to either work really well or it's going to go diabolically wrong. Let's get going with the roulette wheel. Okay, so welcome to the first turn of JRPG Roulette. So as you can see about the mass amount of JRPGs, so let's spin the wheel and let's see what we get. I honestly thought I was going to land on Final Fantasy VII Remake there, but no, we are going to kick off JRPG Roulette and the first JRPG that I should recommend, which is Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. Now, Ys 9 is a fantastic action JRPG from Falcom. I originally played this on the Nintendo Switch, which is a very interesting time. So let's get on to the actual gameplay itself. So we are playing as Adol Kristen as normal. It's more in a city location. It's known in... I'm doing this from memory, and this is the fun with doing it in a one-shot, one-take format. I think it's Prison City. I want to say you're inside a town this time, where most of your Ys titles, you're on an island or in like a countryside sort of idea. This time round, we're in a city, and there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? You get lots of powers within this game. You'll be able to run up buildings, and you'll be able to do high jumps, etc. High jumps, come on. From my remembering of the story as well, because I've only completed this game once, I did enjoy it. There's a lot of twists and turns with what's happening with Adol. If you've played this game, you'll understand what I mean by this. The music is pretty good with this title as well. The rockier soundtrack with the battles is really cool. It's like a kind of a metal track in the background. I mean, some of the lead guitars in it is quite sore to the ears, but you know what? It's a great title. Now, when I played it on the Nintendo Switch as well, performance wasn't the best on there. There was a lot of times where the frame rate would dip, especially if there was a lot of things happening on the screen, but it didn't really put me off the actual experience itself. I would recommend anyone to play this game. I think it would probably work better on the likes of your PlayStation or on PC. I think it's fantastic at the end of the day. It's not my favourite Ys title. Let's not beat around the bush with it. My favourite one is Ys Lacrimosa of Dana. I think that's probably the same with a lot of other people. But anyway, let's get on to pick number 2 of JRPG Roulette. Right, okay, so we have got Lunar Lux, which is an indie JRPG, which was recently shown on this channel in a pickups video. This is going to be a hard one to talk about because I've not really put any time into this one. I picked it up on a Steam sale. No, was it a Steam sale? I saw it cheap on CD keys, sorry, and I picked it up because it looked really good and all the trailers looked fantastic as well. From the very little part I've played of this game, the pixel art looks gorgeous. The music sounded really good. When I got into the battle system, the battle system was something else. I just looked at it and went, what is happening here? There's a lot of stuff going on with it. Once I sit down and properly play it, I think I'll be able to recommend it a lot better. But this is the fun with putting all these JRPGs in this roulette wheel. There was going to be chances that it was going to land on something which I hadn't fully played yet, and this is the first example of it. Lunar Lux, from my understanding, has got a good reputation either way. The trailers that I've watched for it and all the little reviews I've seen for it do give it praise. So when I do get around to it, I am probably going to recommend it. Is that enough for this one? Let me know in the comments down below. Right, we are on to spin number 3 of JRPG Roulette. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so Jack Move. I actually just completed this back in January. So Jack Move is a indie JRPG from So Romantic and from Hype Train Digital. Can't remember. I can't figure out how I remember that, but hey ho. It is a shorter JRPG. You can complete this in about 6 hours. And that's just doing the main story. There is little side quests you can do which can bump up to about 8 or 9 hours. I did feature this game in a previous video as well, which was JRPGs you could finish under 15 hours, which spurred me on to actually pick this one up because I picked it up for 29p off of CD keys and I had some tokens for that as well still, so I got it for 2 pence. 2 pence well spent. It's got turn-based combat, and I really enjoyed that. There's lots of fun with the music. The pixel art with this one's gorgeous as well. I think the great selling point for me was that it was a shorter JRPG where I didn't have to launch like 100 hours into it. So yeah, I would highly recommend Jack Move. It's a fantastic indie JRPG, and you know what? When I got it for 2 pence, can't complain, can I? Right, let's have a look at roulette number 4. Actually, before we do that, let's do the usual YouTube plug rubbish. You know, the parts that no one wants to hear, but it helps grow the channel because you know what? Let's aim for 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So yes, please remember if you like this video to like, share and subscribe and hit that notification bell. But you want to see roulette number 4, so let's go ahead and do it. Bravely Default to utterly fantastic Nintendo Switch JRPG. Bravely Default 2 is a spiritual successor to the earlier Final Fantasies, which has got the job systems in it. It features story elements as well, which talks about the 4 Warriors of Lights, and there's a crystal, etc. Now, Bravely Default 2 was my first experience with this. Well, tell a lie, actually. It was the first time I completed a Bravely Default game. I remember picking up the demo for it and really enjoying it and picking it up on release. And it's the first time. Now, if you follow this channel, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of job systems. I'm not really that good at persevering through getting levels up on different jobs, you know, in your traditional systems. But with Bravely Default 2 and Bravely Default as a series, because you're able to speed up battles, because you're able to put in auto battle commands as well, I think it follows like your previous set of commands, you can level up your jobs pretty quickly. So the grind for me was not something that I wasn't looking forward to. The grind really took no effort whatsoever, which was great. I enjoyed the story. I like the characters as well. And I like the chibi art style with this. And also when they're in the little towns, that it's on a painted backdrop and they're moving around, the camera falls. It's such a great game. I don't see a lot of people talk about Bravely Default 2. I just think it's a cracking game. Plus, one of the 4 Warriors of Light is Scottish. So, you know, that gives it 10 more points in my book. But what were your thoughts on Bravely Default 2? I think it's a cracking game and everyone should give it a go. So, it is the final spin of JRPG Roulette. Let's see what it brings us. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Right, okay. So, this is going to have mixed opinions, right? So, Final Fantasy VIII is an awesome Final Fantasy. It's my second favourite Final Fantasy of all time. It's the second Final Fantasy that I ever played, behind Final Fantasy VII. And I love this title. With its turn-based combat, with the junction system, the dynamic leveling is not the best idea, but there is ways and means around it. You can essentially cheese the game as well with the card game, Triple Triad, which everyone loves Triple Triad. The story as well, I know there's a lot to be said for it, but I enjoyed it. And I think Squall's an awesome character, and I do prefer the Gunblade over the Buster Sword. I've said this before. The Gunblade is my favourite weapon out of Final Fantasy lore. But we're talking about the remastered version, and yeah, I have some thoughts about the remastered version because the actual character models are fine. But from my remembering, there wasn't really much else done with it. The actual background sprites hadn't been upscaled. It was still like sort of the 4:3 aspect ratio, and I would have liked to see it like a widescreen version of it done. And I know that you can get mods for Final Fantasy to do that. But it would have been great to have that as an official capacity. I'm of the belief, I play Final Fantasy VIII on my PS Vita. I love playing the original PS1 version of it on there. It's the same with Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX. I played the original versions. I feel that the remastered could have done a lot more with it. And if you enjoy the remaster, yeah, definitely, that's awesome. It's just, again, with me, where I've been brought up with Final Fantasy VIII on the PlayStation 1 and then carrying it on the PSP and then the PS Vita, you get kind of stuck in your ways, maybe. But yeah, there is little grips and gripes about it, but hey ho. If you've not played Final Fantasy VIII and you've heard all the people moaning about it, I would just ignore it and play it. I think it's a cracking title. Look, Ben Starr, who is the voice of Clive from Final Fantasy 16, he's going to be in Expedition 33. He has been a anchor for Final Fantasy VIII and the poster child of it. And what I'm personally hoping is that some way, somehow, we could see a Final Fantasy VIII remake. This is kind of going off topic, but this is the joys of doing it in a one-shot, one-take format. So, there we go. That is the first episode of JRPG Roulette. What were your thoughts about it, and do you want me to do more in this series? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, if you like what you're hearing and seeing on this channel, please help me grow it by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, you know what to do. Hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye.